Hello, everyone. This is the Athletic School Podcast one more time for you. Today, our guest speaker is Nathan Holley. He plays for Miami Dolphins in the NFL. He had a pretty, pretty different career. So we want to get to know him better and know how he got where he is today. So Nathan, thanks so much for being here today and taking our time. I know you are in a hurry and getting ready to preseason. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So just to get started, I wanted to know when did you decide to become a professional football player?
Yeah, so at a very young age for me, it was kind of a goal and a dream. Growing up, everyone kind of wanted to be an NFL football player or, a president or an astronaut or what have you. But for me, it was always to play in the NFL. And that was not only my goal, but that was my focus.
Mhm.
And that was my dream. And that's what I decided to pursue for the rest of my life, you
Mhm.
know, as I got older. And I think where that goal kind of finally came to fruition, like where it seemed like it could almost be obtainable,
Mhm.
was probably my sophomore year in college, to where I started to realize, okay, this goal, this dream could actually be a thing. So
All right, cool. And and then you were in draft, so you many players in the NFL they are draft. They have I would say that they have a easier path than you had.
mhm.
So, did you have any mentors throughout your career? What kind of set skills did you have that, and you think that made you get where you are today?
Yeah, I would say the two things are dedication and perseverance. For my career, me personally, is dedication and perseverance. And I always tell everybody that the recipes for success is simple. It's easy, it's bland, there's not much to it.
Hmm.
But to follow that recipe is difficult. Right. That's where it takes the dedication. And then the perseverance of my career hasn't been exactly, I mean, it's went how I want. It hasn't went the way I wanted to get to where I'm at. I mean, there's been a lot of obstacles. There's been a lot of things along the way that I've had to overcome personally, that I've had to persevere through. So that's where I come in with the perseverance. So dedication, perseverance to me are huge into making it to where I am. Um, I would say in my life, mentorship wise, always looked up to my dad, my father, who, always coached us at a young age. My brother, I have a twin brother who, I always competed with, and we always got after it together. So that was always something that was there to help me. But when it comes to somebody like an icon or a certain book or a person, I never really truly looked up to anybody in that kind of way. It was always kind of, I was able to have that motivation, that fire. I was able to do things just by being me.
Hmm.
And so I truly believe I've been blessed in a way that I can mentally do things in that way. There's others that do need to lean on somebody else to lead that path for them, a book, a reading, show them how it's done. And that's truly what I want to do in my career, is be able to motivate others, to show them that, hey, your dream's not that far away if you just keep coming towards it,
Hmm.
right? You just keep pursuing it. And there's too many people that give up before they achieve that dream or that goal. And so for me, not really having a mentor to look up to in a sense, I want to be that mentor for others.
Hmm. That's really nice. So our main goal here is to bring people that are playing a high level or that played in a high level and try to understand their mindset, and how they got there. And looking at your career, you signed with the Minnesota Vikings and then you were released and then you went to Nebraska. You played just a couple games that you did really really good in two games, but then you end up not being there anymore. And then you signed to Los Angeles Rams, right? And then you once again you didn't play, and then you went to Canada. You had a good season, and so I think, like you said, so many obstacles. So that's why I knew that you were the right guy to bring in. I me personally, I see myself in the same obstacles that you are having. So I think that that's going to help a lot of people. And I think you are in the right path, just sharing your stories. You're probably going to be a really good mentor for a lot of people out there. So talking about these obstacles, how to overcome so many obstacles, how to not give up once you see so many different obstacles uh, in your life.
Yeah, to me, that's just staying faithful and trusting in the process.
Hmm.
It is just 100% believing in who you are and what you're meant to be. And that is a very hard thing to not lose sight of, because there's a lot of countless hours that are lonely, to where you're chasing this dream, you're chasing this goal. It seems close, but yet it seems so far away. You have no idea really how you're going to achieve it. But if you continue to believe and stay faithful that you will, ultimately it's going to happen. And that's the mentality that I stayed. I would be at home, working part-time jobs and training, and countless hours. I was working all day, then I was out on the field at night, 3-4 hours while the sun's going down. I'm training underneath the parking lot lights, out on the field. And like, you just sit there and you just start to think to yourself, like, how am I going to get this done? It seems like an impossible task. I don't know how to break the barrier of getting that phone call. You literally are sitting there every day when your phone rings, hoping it's the NFL calling.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's a mind trick, So for me to be able to overcome them obstacles, to be able to continue along the path with all the adversity that was thrown my way, is just staying faithful and believing, like, this is what I was put on this earth to do. And I truly believe that my story is meant to inspire somebody somewhere. So that, to me, is what fuels me. It's what drives me. It's what gives me that sense of motivation of, like, okay, this isn't going to be easy. I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out.
Yeah. No, I like that, and I feel like when you decide that you're gonna be successful, that you're gonna achieve your dreams, and like just like you said, you don't know how, you have no clue how to do it, but I mean, you just feel like one day you're gonna do it. You don't know how, but you just keep keep a trust in the process, right?
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then you were mentioning that your career hasn't been the way that you kind of planned to be, but do you think all these obstacles made you stronger?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. I think all these obstacles have shaped me into a better human, into a better man, into a better football player. It's given me a deeper level of appreciation to where I'm at. I think there's a lot of guys in the locker room who have been drafted, or it went straight from college to the NFL and haven't worked really any kind of real job per se. I mean, we have a real job, but at the same time, it's we're treated pretty well compared to what it is to work in the real world, right? And so I have a different level of appreciation for everything that I get, everything that I take part of, everything that I see, that I'm involved with. Like, every day I walk out on the field, I just feel blessed that this is my job, this is my career. So I think that has strengthened me in ways of different levels of appreciation, but also has strengthened me in ways that when adversity strikes, I don't flip out. I don't stress out. I'm able to handle certain situations that are normally very stressful and just be like, okay, well, that's kind of life. It's going to work its way out. I'll figure it out one way or another. And it is what it is. Let's roll. So for me, yeah, I do think it strengthened me a lot. Um, and in the beginning, couldn't see why I was going through what I was going through, or why I had to. But I think now it's kind of become a little more clear as to why I've had to go the path that I had, and where I think I'm going to go from here.
Yeah, no, I think seeing the world from a different perspective, really change our lives, and
Mhm.
then you said appreciation and gratitude, it's really hard. It's hard when you are not draft, and and you are released by this team, and then you don't get to play, and you are benching all the time, and it's hard to to appreciate that. It's hard to be grateful, but once you understand that that's part of the process, I think that's huge. That's when we boost our lives in a different level as a human being, and also as an athlete, right?
Absolutely.
So my next question is, have you ever doubt yourself? Have you ever thought like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do it? Like, you were mentioning that sometimes you didn't know how, but have you ever thought about, oh, I don't think I can do it?
There are times that I would say that doubt creeps in. And I think that's human. I think that happens for everybody. I think the successful people are the ones that can take that doubt and get it out as quick as possible.
Hmm.
Right. I think that's the people that can, whatever kind of self-doubts you have, whatever kind of doubt you have in what you're about to achieve or not, as long as you can be aware of that, because I think that doubt also is a little bit of a form of motivation. It's kind of a way to keep you humble and grounded, and also like, hey, I still have to work
Hmm.
because of this doubt, right? That fear. But at the same time, if you can take that doubt, realize it, recognize it, and get it out, that to me is where success comes. That's how people become successful, is because they don't sit there and focus on that, right? So I've had moments of weakness, moments of doubt, but I've also been able to alleviate those moments of doubt awfully quick and get after what I needed to get after at that point. In this business, there's doubt all the time. If you're a lower level guy and you're fighting, kicking, scratching for a job, um, there's always that level of doubt. Am I going to be here tomorrow? Kind of thing. I mean, it is such a crazy business. It is a blessing to be a part of, but it is a crazy business when it comes to that. So that little bit of self doubt is always there. But if you can get rid of that, let your hair down and just play, that's where you'll see your most success.
Yeah, it's basically like focusing on what you can control and not focusing on what you cannot control, right? Because
Correct.
um, there's stoicism. They talk a lot about that, and how you should just let it go. Don't spend your energy on the things that you cannot control, and just try to do your best, and using whatever you can do it. Whatever tools you have.
Right.
So yeah, no, I like that. So you already mentioned so many lessons that you learn, but what are the main lessons that you can take from the all this path, and things that you are gonna take for your entire life, and you would like to share with other people?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think the biggest life lessons are just to believe in yourself. Even when things are tough, when things are hard, when you don't see a clear picture, when others around you are doubting your path, believe in yourself.
Mhm.
If you truly, again, if you believe it, you stay faithful in it, and you think that that's legitimately going to happen, and you're putting the work towards it, because I think that's where people make a mistake too, is people think like, okay, if I just manifest it, if I just believe it, if I just think it, it's going to happen. Well, no, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it as well. There's a lot of things that you have to do to continue to make sure that you're ready for that dream. It's not going to just happen in the fact that, okay, everything happens. Yes, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. Let's not, confuse that. But for me, it's staying faithful, it's staying dedicated, it's persevering, it's, when you're having moments of weakness, it's realizing, recognizing, and moving past them. Um, and then it's just not, don't get comfortable with the dream and with the goal. Don't let just just getting there, don't let just achieving that dream or that goal be it for you.
Mhm.
Let set that next goal, see what else you can do.
Mhm.
Because if you got to that level, maybe you can get to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. And it's just, I don't think in my life I'll ever get to the point where I'm just complacent with
Mhm.
this dream or this goal of mine.
Yeah.
I think one day I would love to put on a gold jacket. I want to go to Canton. I want to put on my gold jacket. I want to give my speech with a couple Super Bowl rings on my finger. For me, that's been the goal that has elevated once I made it to the NFL. I was like, okay, now I'm here. Now what's next? And there's steps along the way that I have planned too, but that's going to be like the ultimate, like, this is what I want to achieve. And growing up, that wasn't in my wheelhouse. That wasn't in my thought process. But now that I'm here, that for me is going to be what I chase and what I go after.
Mm-hmm. And do you think having like a clear goal is something helpful that people should have like a goal that they can see in their mind and so they can go after? Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I do. I think if you can't see it, you can't chase it. Right? It's not going to be clear all the time. You're not going to understand how you're going to get there. But if you can't see it, you can't chase it. If it's some fabricated goal that you have no idea about or anything, you don't really believe it or think it, you're just, kind of out there with it. I don't see that happening. But yeah, if it's a clear cut goal, I think that helps. I think that is definitely beneficial in chasing that dream.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, seems like for you, your mental toughness, it's pretty natural,
Mm-hmm.
But for some people out there, it's not that easy. A lot of people struggle, and I'm not saying that you didn't, but like for you're mentioning about believing in yourself, I mean, do you have any advice for people that have trouble believing themselves, believing that they can make it? Because many people will struggle with that, and to be honest, even me and any other people can sometimes they just don't think they can do it, and how to keep going, how to keep believing that you can make it.
Yeah. I mean, some people need that extra help and that extra motivation, and I think if you need it in this world nowadays, we have access to it. You don't have to have direct access in person to be able to talk to somebody, to be able to sit down with somebody like it had been several years ago. Now we have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have, Instagram. I mean, you have so many different social media platforms that you can find somebody that you relate to or connect with in some kind of way. So if you need that help, find it. It's there, and be dedicated to it. But also, if you need that help, the best, to me, motivator and the best confidence builder is the fact that you're putting that work in towards your goals and your dreams. Whether or not you're getting closer to that dream or farther away from that dream. And a way to alleviate any kind of self-doubt or lack of confidence is to work towards it, to move closer to that goal. If you can continue to better yourself in doing that, I think that alone will gain confidence. But then if you need confidence outside of that and outside of yourself, there's people like myself, there's people that have, been it, done it, have went through paths of that some people won't even be able to imagine having to go through. So there's people out there that you can relate with. It's just finding somebody that's relatable to you, because not everybody will work for you. I mean, there's people that you'll look at and be like, okay, you think you had it rough, but really you had a silver spoon and you're all right. Like, it's okay. And it's hard to relate to people like that who are trying to be all motivating and everything's pretty much had a red carpet laid out for them and they walk down the carpet and there they were. Those people to me are hard to relate to, right? Like you have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's the people that, I worked as a substitute teacher. I took down supervised bouncy houses. I was cleaning office buildings, working landscape, worked at a country club in the grounds keeps. Like, I did concrete and construction. Like, I've done everything on my way to become an NFL football player. Mm-hmm. So it's like, for me, find somebody like that has done multiple things, that has continued to struggle to chase this dream and had to overcome, and cling to that person. That's going to be a good person that you can, persevere through. And not somebody like, that just thinks it's easy, because it's not easy. It's not. You got to recognize that it's not easy, but it's possible.
Yeah.
that's also the thing.
Hmm. No, I I literally love what you said because I feel many people they don't see the results that they want, so they just stop doing it, and they get sad, and they don't try um to figure something out.
Hmm.
And I had so many times that I felt like that, but you were mentioning something about keep working hard, and then something that I've been trying to do, and like if things are not going right, I'm not even going to stop and think how things are not going the way that I want. I'm just let me go to the field again and just practice one more time because I don't have time for this.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I love what you said. So my next question is, what is your goal for the future? Actually, let me change. Let's say your life is a book, okay, and you are the author.
Yep.
How would you like the book to end?
For me, I would like to have a long enough career in the NFL
Okay.
that I set myself up one day for the Hall of Fame. B, I would like to financially be stable for the rest of my life for me and my family
Hmm.
to be able to do what I want, not what I have to do.
Hmm.
Um, I would love to have a couple Super Bowls along the way. I think that would be awesome and a really cool experience.
Yeah.
But ultimately, for me, outside of football, I think most important is a loving wife, kids, healthy family, love and happiness. I mean, for me, I'm a guy that it's not just the career, it's not just football, and that is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But also, it's finding that woman of my dreams. It's you know creating babies with her and growing a family and um, you know just maintaining, because I'm very close to my family, maintaining that relationship and being able to love and experience and enjoy this life. This life is so precious and it's special in the fact that we only get one of them. Um, and so I just want to cherish this life. I want to make the most out of it. I want to live it the best that I can. So for me, career wise, it would be one day putting a gold jacket on in Canton with a few rings on my finger.
Hmm.
Financially being stable for the rest of my life to be able to do what I want, not what I have to do. And then having a loving wife and kids and a wonderful relationship with my healthy family. That's to me is my storybook. Like
Yeah.
as I actually do want to get into some acting at some point too. I think that would be fun.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'd be like a fun little thing to do because I just for something reason to me, like when you're dead and gone, right? You're always there. Like
Yeah.
your grandkids can throw on a DVD of you or put on
Okay.
Netflix and there you are. Like to me, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So part of me wants to get into that at some point. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know what all the other details are going to be, but the
Right.
main foundation of my book from here on out is that's kind of what I'm thinking I
That's
want it to
awesome.
be.
That's awesome. Sounds like a good book. I hope I can get to read that book one day.
I appreciate it. Me too. I'll work on
Yeah,
it.
for sure, for sure. So just to kind of wrap it up, my last two questions. Throughout your career, there was something that inspired you, like I don't know, maybe a book, a quote, or I don't know, someone, anything that inspired you.
I wouldn't say that there's anything specific that inspired me along the way. I'm not a big reader.
Hmm.
I like movies, but um, I don't know. I think for me at a young age, it was just always believing like this is what I want to do.
Hmm.
Looking up to the football players that whenever I was around football, whether I was in elementary going to the high school games or high school going to college, or always looking up to the NFL. Like I just knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say that there was anything in particular. I mentioned my twin brother earlier. He plays football as well. He's up in the CFL right now.
Yeah,
He's actually trying out for the Calgary Stampeders team I played for in 2019.
cool.
And I would say he's one of the inspirations for me. He's always been. It's just he's always been along my side. We've always competed. We've always got after it, and we've always tried to one up each other.
Hmm.
So for me, that's been my inspiration. That's inspired me. That's allowed me to grow and to compete and to just become the man that I am. So outside of that, I don't think I have any outside really
Mhm.
sources of inspiration or motivation. I mean, there's always little things, but nothing like that I can think like this was it.
Right. No, I think that the passion of becoming a NFL player, it's enough to to inspire you, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So my last question for you is how you define, how you measure success in your life.
I think success is measured by happiness.
Okay.
I think success is measured by your mental health. To me, I don't think it's a dollar sign. I mean, obviously a certain amount of money is great. It alleviates a lot of stress. It allows you to do things that maybe you've always wanted to do.
Mhm.
Um, but success is to me is a definition to each own, right? To everyone else, everyone has their own level of success, and my definition is true happiness. And I don't care who you are, what you do for a career. If you don't enjoy it, if you're not happy, you have all this money. Are you really that successful?
Mhm.
I mean, to me, to be successful in life is just to be happy, to love, to care, to be happy. Um, that to me is my level of success. And now, obviously, along the way, I have my goals, I have my aspirations, and that's also part of my success, and that will make me happy in some sense. The financial aspect, I don't know. People always say money doesn't buy happiness and all that. It sure helps. I mean, it sure helps. So let's not kid ourselves and say that that's not a level of success too. Um, but there's also people that don't have that and are also still very successful because they just go to their day to day, enjoy life, and they're happy.
Mhm.
To me, that's success.
What makes you happy?
Living life. I'm a very happy go lucky pro life kind of person. I mean, to me, waking up every day, um, having my family, being close to my family, being loved by the ones around me, that to me that makes me happy. And then getting to play a sport that I love and compete at the highest level and go into places that, other people can't go into or see other things that people can't see. Like
Yeah.
to me, that makes me happy. I work hard for it and then I'm rewarded for it. So that is a wonderful feeling.
Mhm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Nathan. I really appreciate it. And you were talking about inspiring other people, and for sure you're gonna inspire other people, and especially me because everything that you said, I think I relate a lot to myself, and I love it. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. See you later.